Hey, my name is Jesse James, and welcome to another episode of Dealership Life, which is where I take you through general week of what it's like to work in sales at a Harley-Davidson dealership. So far today, haven't had anything crazy happen. I don't really have anything cooking in the hopper, so it's a lot of getting new business started for this week. Did get talk to one person so far today, and it was on this bike, 2025 Road Glide with the Whiskey Firestorm. So this has been a color scheme that I personally have loved this year, because I think that Harley should always have a Ghost Flame setup in the catalog, because it's like distinctly American, you know? Like you saw it on classic muscle cars, classic American sports cars and stuff. So on Harley's being another classic American brand, I think there should always be some Ghost Flames. But reason he was looking towards that was he has a 2017 Street Glide and has got it brand new in 17. Is in the position now where he's like, hey, maybe I go over to another new bike. Showed him some stuff, specifically asked not to be rushed on it, and I had to tell him, it's like, hey, I don't mind, just we'll go at your pace type thing. So rode on it. He was very impressed with the powertrain, because he's riding on the 107, so the 117 centerline cooled with the different power modes he really enjoyed. And then the screen, I don't think it was something that was like make or break one way or another, but he thought was cool, which, you know, what more can you really ask? We were also comparing it to this bike. I was comparing it to this 2023 Road Glide Anniversary. I always say look at both a new and a pre-owned, and this one is one that but was also comparing it to this 2023 pre-owned Road Glide special with the anniversary paint and a whole lot of aftermarket stuff. At first, because he came in for the 2025, he wasn't sure if, like, he was just like, oh, I don't want to waste your time of going over to a whole different model and looking at that. And I told him, no, I actually encourage people to pick out multiple models and compare, because you never know what you might like, and especially from a new to a pre-owned, because if you're financing, interest rates can be so different. It doesn't hurt to compare both and just see whatever makes more sense. And this one, as you can see, just like as I was telling the story a little bit here and there, it's got a lot of aftermarket stuff like already done to it. So it's a good looking bike, and definitely a steal from a just aftermarket stuff already done to it here on the floor. But compared to both of them, he's asked for some time to think about it. Let him do the thing, because again, not going to twist anybody's arm or force their hand with it. But we did have an interesting conversation. Sorry for all the jumping around, but they're playing a lot of copyrighted music out on the showroom floor, from AC/DC to then Journey and then some Bon Jovi. So I'm really just trying to not get demonetized, since I'm close to that spot there. But anyways, so where the conversation became interesting was he rides with a Christian ministry. And I'm not a very big like spiritual, like going to church every Sunday person. I don't have anything against it. It's just a personal choice for me. And whenever it did come up with that, of like my faith and stuff like that, he and I sat down and had a conversation about it, and very open back and forth. And he said at the end of it, he's just like, why? He's like, usually this isn't a thing where the employees or stuff will really listen and have a conversation about it. Why are we having it? He's just like, what gotten you to do this, essentially? And I flatly said, I'm like, because one, I do have spiritual thoughts, and you've taken the time to come into my store today to look and listen to me talk without interrupting. I'm going to give you the common courtesy back. And I thought that was interesting, because I've had a lot of Christian ministries or riders that were Christians, or people saying they were Christians, that would be very like the exact same things that we don't like in salespeople. Super pushy, not listening to what we were saying, and like essentially just trying to get their point across, not caring about the person. And so it was interesting that he on the showroom today, like that essentially that is what happened. I did have that inverse where he was going and talking about something that he was passionate about and trying to sell me on of Christianity. But no, I like had a good conversation about it. And I doubt like as of right now, I doubt that will probably ever happen again, because that's the first time in my entire career that has happened. But I guess never say never. However, he's taking time to think about it, so we need to get some bikes out, because if not, I don't get. So I have no idea where I was at in the telling of the story for this week. So yesterday, not a lot happened beyond just talking with that one service customer. And then a lot happened today from a sales point of view, and some other stuff that I'll explain a little bit later in the video, but just massive changes now coming. But let's talk about what has happened today so far. So I actually started out the day with a fella looking at street bobs who had recently, like, his retina had fallen out and had had a surgery. Funny enough, he and I have actually been talking off and on for over the past year because of just different things, everything from like getting into Rider Academy and me helping out with that, to helping him get out of a situation where his son owned a bike but lived down in Florida. It was a whole kit and caboodle. Well, anyways, life settled down a little bit. His retina is now reattached, and he's like, hey, coming into some money. Didn't want a bike as big as the Heritage, but didn't want to go as small as the Street 500, which is the bike he used for Rider Academy. The one that he really landed on is this street bob right here, because he liked the Softail chassis of that Heritage. I think it was just a little bit big on really just the weight and probably more optical illusion, because as a lot of you guys know, for people who've been around riding, frame-wise, it's still a Softail frame, but where it's just more slim, smaller gas tank. He really dug the laced wheels, and this denim gray that it has on it was something that was just right up his alleys. Personally, I really dig this badging. If I'm not mistaken, at the time that bike was new, 2018, they were doing a lot of denims on the street bob, kind of just as a throwback style, but that's what he liked. Badging, where it's like an actual physical badging, is something that I personally like. I've never been crazy about just the riding it into the tank, but so caught up, got it set up, and I got it set up in like my computer to like reach out and just check in. I'm not on them every now and then, because I'm not gonna blow you up. If you tell me, hey, I've got some stuff going on, don't talk with me, then I won't, and just kind of let that play out, and take care of that. And he was a customer that, again, for over the past year, I've just helped him with other things. But whenever he was looking to buy, he came and talked with me, so that can kind of get that ball rolling, which I definitely appreciated. So back into my little makeshift office. The other two things that have been going on was, had a Hog member from another dealership come by to get set up for the Let's Ride Challenge. If you're not familiar with the Let's Ride Challenge, it's Harley's. It's like a Harley sponsored. You go ride miles on your own bike, and it calculates those up and puts you in different raffles. But also, Harley did a big donation if we hit a certain mile goal over to a whole bunch of different veterans organizations, which we actually hit much earlier than the motor company thought we would hit it. But that's going to be running through October. I hope they bring it back. It's been fun to meet some of the people in the Let's Ride Challenge, hear their stories, and then just watching some people rack up miles. I think the most that I've found so far this year is one fella put, I want to say, like 35K on his bike and just got it in the spring and has just been running it. So he's just running up the counter. That was super cool. And then I also looked at a bike it was a 2010 V-Rod. What he was looking for wasn't crazy. It was just more than what I'd be looking for us to be able to flip it. Because whenever I buy bikes for the dealership, I am looking at a position of, I want to buy it to then flip it and make a profit. But he wasn't looking for anything crazy, just wasn't in the market at that price. So I pointed him in a couple other shops here around Evansville that also buy bikes, so check in with them. Most of the day, though, has been tied up with talking to other people, because right now we have visitors from our Bluegrass location over in Louisville that works on the internet sales side of it. And it's always fun to hear, like, whenever people come up to you, it's like, hey, you're a blah, blah, blah. Be it either for YouTube like this, or in that case, switch hands here. Because all of all of our dealerships are connected via our internet lead system on the computer, and it has our names but nothing much beyond that. And it was funny because he's like, oh, I recognize your name because you've done a lot of stuff on the internet side to help us. So a whole lot of time of just like picking each other's brains of like, how do we improve the guest experience, how do we go about essentially just running the business better and making it easier for people to do what they intend to do. That took up a big portion of the day, and then also getting pulled in another direction, which again, I'll hit more of what that direction was later in the video. So, this is Saturday morning. I'm going to try and remember to do a clip of if I sell anything for today. Did not record anything for Friday, and a lot of it has to do kind of with what I'm doing right now. This week has been absolutely chaotic for several different reasons, both here and personal, if like that makes sense. And so to say that I've been distracted this week would be an understatement. And so for the here, reason's actually kind of twofold. But I'm gonna have to move that. It's been because there's been some training, the different meetings going on, and I have been talking to people, but it's been mostly, it's that point in the year where it's a whole bunch of bike buys. So like it's, because we're going into off season, right? And so there's people that's like, hey, I got what I wanted out of this season, selling bikes, see it every year. So there's been a lot of that. So it's been a lot of bike buys, which isn't great content. Bought a couple others, just we weren't in the market at the price they were wanting. But the other thing is my role in the dealership has changed. This is the thing that I was referring to earlier in the video where I was like, hey, changes are coming. Because now I'm still going to be working up in sales and be a salesman. So for now, I have my own office. I am now I'm working as a hybrid role of those in sales and as one of the business managers, so the people that has to do all the paperwork and the legalese. So now I'm located over here. Nice little workstation, and this is where I'll be kind of working now for most of the days. Probably get used to a lot of this footage where it's me facing this way versus the little old makeshift cubicle that I was kind of taking just to like edit YouTube videos and stuff. But it has led to a very distracting week for me, so I'm sorry. This is probably like one of the worst videos that I've ever made, but it's just been a very like busy week because of both like working the showroom floor, but also learning my new role, learning the legalese, because here in Evansville, we are right on the borderline of Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri. So we get customers from all four states want their stuff done. And in some counties around here, they want certain things. So it's been a lot of just fire hose drinking, which like, that's fine. That's kind of what I've grown up doing. But on top of that, I've also reached a threshold with YouTube for monetization. And later on, I'll do a video where I explain, it's like, okay, this is what it looked like the first month for anybody that's looking to get into YouTube and just curious. But I've been having to learn that side of it as well as that, while also having to sell bikes on the floor, while also getting a new animal at the house. And I've had animals. I grew up on a farm for a while, so I'm very used to it, but it's been getting everything for that, teaching my wife and son, because my wife has never had an animal. So getting an animal was a big thing. And mind you, it's just a kitten, but there's still a lot that goes into that. So it has just been a non-stop week. So I apologize for this video being all over the place and not super cohesive. But whenever I was thinking about this, for making this video, I was thinking, I'm like, that's honestly kind of the story of what this week. I chose this week to be a dealership life one. And I'm going to show you guys like, hey, this is what goes on at a dealership. And like, that's kind of the story of this week. It's been crazy. It's been chaotic, but it's been a lot of stuff that I've been working towards for a while now that I'll get into later, because this section's probably going on too long. Like, it's not very bike focused, it's more me focused. But yeah, it's getting to this point has been a long time coming. And thank you guys for being a part of it, whether it's the first time watching this video, getting to this point in the video, or you were anybody that subscribed. You were very much an early subscriber in this whole thing and watching me kind of figure it out, so thank you for that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it for what you could enjoy of it. I promise my dealership lives are usually far more bike focused than this, but if you like this video, please give it a like. If you like seeing more of this behind the scenes journey of like what it's like working at a Harley Davidson dealership or bike reviews, give it a subscription because that's what I do here. But more than anything, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you out there riding.